standing up for marijuana. Now he knows the truth. So talk to your parents.
Up first.
And now we got
Oh, damn, my mic has been muted. Didn't realize. Young Jurks, Mike Crawford, welcome to the show. I wanted to open up tonight with Michael Malta, the King of Pot, the KOP. And right now, I'm showing the New England Cannabis Convention awards, which are coming up quickly. We won a couple awards last year. Actually, over the last couple of years, we won Best Cannabis Podcast last year. We were nominated. We would love for you to vote for us again this year. But the reason I kicked it off with Michael Malta, the King of Pot, is because last year I was also nominated for Lifetime Achievement, which was a huge honor. I didn't win that award, which was totally cool. I totally loved who they actually did select for that. And this year, I just thought it would be, just thinking about my brother a lot, who we lost a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, Michael Malta, the King of Pot. And last year when I was nominated, I just thought about him a lot. And I thought that he should be nominated for this award. So I'm throwing it out there. Maybe it's because I'm so attached personally and I miss him so much that I'm putting him up there. But I think it's well-deserved. He did a lot of good work. We started off from the Freedom Rally way back when he brought his father up, who we call Daddy-O. And Daddy-O, was someone who used to beat up Michael Malta as a teenager for smoking cannabis. And then it helped save Michael Malta's life. And Michael Malta talks about his mom a lot and her issues that he also inherited and how cannabis really helped him. And unfortunately, it didn't save his mom because she was afraid to use it because it had been illegal. So Michael Malta is someone who definitely deserves your support. I would definitely recommend people vote for him. Again, my name is Mike Crawford, Young Jurks tonight. Wanted to kick it off with Michael Malta from the Freedom Rally. You heard the huge audience crowd support there from the Boston Freedom Rally. I also wanted to touch on a couple other things tonight as well. One was I'm gonna bring this up right now. It's basically a state senator in the state of New Jersey who really doesn't like homegrown cannabis for some reason, and we're gonna hear from him. Let's put him right up right now.
And so I've seen it a couple of times in the chat, and I think you and I have shared the notion of addressing this. So legislature or CRC, the issue of homegrown. Legislature or CRC.
I can tell you I don't see it happening at any time.
I do see that it will happen at some point in time. I don't doubt that. I'm not against marijuana being grown at home and utilized for medical purposes and maybe even just recreational purposes. But we've got to let this industry kind of get off the, not even off the ground yet. And if we flood this market with tons of additional, product, and that's what happens. I know people think it's going to be used for personal use only, but it doesn't happen that way. The anecdotal evidence in Colorado and many other places is that there's a proliferation of home grow that just floods the adult market, and in other markets where it's not illegal, it's shipped into Nebraska and other places that they don't have a regulated market, and it's not regulated. So it can be tainted with other stuff, and that's not what we want to see. And I would think that maybe a hybrid of adult use, homegrown at some point in time, that people just can't throw some seeds in a pot and put it out there. They're going to have to apply for something to be able to grow their own and certify that it's for them and help them how much they're going to grow. I will see that it's going to happen, I think, but it's going to be happen under regulation. It's not going to just happen like you can all grow what you want, because they're going to want to keep track of what people are growing at home to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. It's not being sold. It's not being shipped out of the state. So I think there's more to come on that. Certainly, personally, not opposed to it, but I don't see it happening right now.
That's the senator from New Jersey, Nick Scuttari. Nick, I would have you look at Massachusetts, over $2 billion in tax revenue with home grow 6 to 12 plants being legal. Myself as a consumer and patient, we don't have enough home grow. I think you're going to find in New Jersey that most people can't actually home grow unless they own a property that allows it. That doesn't include apartments. It doesn't include most condos. Even if you own a condo, it's very difficult to grow. If you live in a dorm room, you're not going to be able to legally grow. The landlord's not going to allow it. So, Nick Scuttari, look to Massachusetts. Massachusetts has had so much taxable revenue from their slow rollout of legal cannabis. 2016, we passed it. We're at 2022. Get with the times, buddy. Home grow doesn't affect, basically what Chris Goldstein had recently said on the show, that big cannabis compete with themselves. They set the price, they set the market. Home grow 6 to 12 plants on a scale cannot compete with someone who's growing tens of thousands of plants. That's just ludicrous. Scuttari is basically parroting big cannabis, his big cannabis supporters, who aren't even doing this because it affects their bottom line. They're only doing this because I believe, because it helps their investors. They can go to their investors and say, see, we're in New Jersey. It's one of the strictest states. We have a monopoly. They won't even allow home grow, so they can get more money from their investors. That's all it's about. And even for the investors, it's like, come on, guys, you're clueless, because home grow doesn't affect Curaleaf's bottom line. It just doesn't. It's not even something that they worry about, because it's such a small amount of the market. And what home grow does is helps a lot of, a few, small patients, people that can't afford, to go to a dispensary. And it's a small number, I wish it was more, but that's the truth about home grow. So I think he's kind of full of it. He should stop talking to the dispensaries. The other thing I wanted to share tonight, if we can share something else tonight. Hopefully we can. I think we can. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I see. I got to stop the other screen shares. I'm editing tonight. I'm producing tonight too, which is difficult to do at times. Yeah. Yes, it is. Having one of those nights too. But I wanted to share something else tonight from the Boston Globe, another place that I just feel like just missing a lot. We're gonna go to the screen share. I'm gonna put up reporter Dan Adams. He's got a recent story about dispensaries, of course. There we go. If we can get this up here. There we go. We got Dan Adams up. His recent story is Omicron strains marijuana industry supply chain. If we look at that story, of course, they're not going to let me look at it on the Globe's website now, even though it's on my phone. What you're going to see is they quote a lot of big dispensary people. And they also quote one individual who is, sympathetic, someone that we like. A lot of the community supports Kobe Evans from Urban Oasis in Boston, the first Black cannabis dispensary owned in the city of Boston. A lot of us like that dispensary. So he leads with them. But then he goes on to quote a bunch of big cannabis dispensary folks. And, one of the quotes from Kobe was about, the number of people that they've lost because of COVID outbreaks among the employees. And it was the most interesting quote in the whole story, really, honestly. But, it was about the manufacturing delays, mostly the story. But to me, it always goes back to the same question. Every story from Dan Adams that I read, I look, is there a patient quoted, a real patient that doesn't have an agenda? Is there any employees, low-level employees quoted? And again, no. It's just big cannabis. It's that's what the Globe seems to be at this point. We'll scroll down the stories. Do you see any stories that are talking to the employees from Dan Adams or the unions, the labor unions even? I don't know. I see Cannabis Control Commission. I see big business, big cannabis. And again, it's why I feel like you should be supporting local media, independent media, and getting involved. I talked tonight about Michael Malta. I'm going to close hopefully with some Michael Malta. But the big thing is, like I talked about, if this cannabis awards is coming up again, I would ask you to definitely vote for some of the greats. Don't let big cannabis dispensary people win those awards and get nominated for them. Lifetime achievement, I would suggest Michael Malta or any of the other three brothers we recently lost: Kyle Corrao, aka Elmo, Mickey Martin, or Red Blaza, Glenn Prescott. I consider all four of them my brothers. So I would suggest for lifetime achievement, let's vote for somebody that isn't big cannabis. I would suggest voting for Michael Malta, the king of pot. So that's my show tonight. It was short and sweet. I just wanted to get a couple things out. Definitely vote for, like I said, NECAN nominations, NECAN.com, I believe is the website. Again, you can vote for Michael Malta for Lifetime Achievement and the Young Jurks for Best Podcast and Best News Source. If you would like, it's for your consideration. It's not a demand. You do what you want in the end, but it's just a suggestion, my suggestion. All right, we're short and quick tonight. Young Jurks, Mike Crawford. We'll see you next time.